Hi, we are back here on Close Up on Community Ed, and we are now with our next guest, and this is Kent Johnson. Kent, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Gretchen.
Yeah, I'm so happy you said yes to coming on our show today. Let's look at some of your images, and then we'll talk about what people, what makes an image work or not work so well, and then the kinds of things that they'll be learning in your class.
Okay.
So we'll focus first on the sports photography. Here you've got one, I see a perfect rule of thirds, first of all. I see a nice layout.
Right, and so what I tried to do here was use a little wider angle on my lens so that I could get the illusion that he's pole vaulting into the way up into the sky to get
right.
beyond
So are you
that.
lower somehow?
I was kneeling at this shot, and then I had a wider angle that gives it that convergence effect of the vanishing lines that will meet up into the middle here. So now these little guys were very busy. They were wandering around, and I happened to have my camera with me, and I followed them around, and they were getting in all sorts of mischief around the farm. And finally, they decided to climb up into this oak tree and settle in for a little nap. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but this third guy over here is letting out a really big yawn, and the little guy in the middle is looking like he's being squeezed and maybe not too happy, and this little fella here is all he can do is to keep his eyes open. And this has been a favorite of mine and a real popular print that I've had too. And I simply was in the right place for this one. I hadn't intended to do any wildlife shooting that day, but there they were, and I had my camera with me and was able to capture the shot.
Yeah.
Brought one more little wildlife shot.
Yeah, this is kind of an awe type of shot.
Yeah. So cute. We had a family of gray foxes living in one of our outbuildings, and we knew something was living in it. We could see something had gone out, and then one late afternoon there were these 3 little kits came tumbling out. And what happened here is the father had brought back a meal for him, and this little guy came up to say howdy to his daddy, and I just was able to capture that shot too. And it's
very sweet.
Yeah, and I like this one because it's a kind of a scene of sentimental. Maybe they like each other. It's a quiet moment between the parent and the child, and
it definitely captured that.
This was an image I made.
Nice.
The Amnicon River in Wisconsin, and it was right next to a very busy highway, and we pulled off there for a rest and followed the river a ways, and I was struck by the light pouring in on this scene. It was late in the fall, and I wanted to capture the movement of the water, but I didn't want to stop the movement. I wanted to also convey a little bit of emotion in here, motion of the water, but I also liked this beautiful light that was falling on it that makes it look very clean and very crisp. There's a lot going on here. We're leading our eye in here with the curve of the water. I've got a lot of texture with the different kinds of the rocks and even the lichen on the rocks. And then the softness of the white pines with a few of the fall-colored leaves left on there too. I think that works very well.
I love this last one. This last one looks like it'd be photoshopped, and you told me that it is not.
No, this one is actually a shot that I made with film, pre-digital. And what I did here was set my camera on the tripod and open it up with a long shutter. I think I was about 3 to 4 minutes on this shot. And
what's happening here?
Well, these are the stars in the evening sky, and what I did is pointed my camera almost towards Polaris, the North Star, which would be right in that area. And this is just showing the rotation of our Earth here.
Wow.
And then additionally, I took my flashlight and used it as a paintbrush and painted in light on this tree in the foreground, so that I again can have a kind of a starting point for your eye to look into, and then travel around into the shot.
Yeah, it's just cool looking.
Thank you. Thank you.